Tench was moved to a secure room on this floor where for the following
This dude sounds like he's AI generated.
However, Tench still managed to avoid apprehension.
How strong is him? He's literally Naruto running, right? Like, you can't stop him?
25 cities in a row. I'm switching up the coast.
Welcome. I know, we're back with more reactions today. Hey, hold on. Let me shake your hand real quick, sir. Today we're going back to the infamous one and only Kane Pixels, and he has another masterpiece for us today. So without further ado, we got two juicy videos: Overflow, Damage Control. Again, I usually don't react to 1 minute videos. I just wait until the longer one and then we just double whammy them, just how we did I Remember in Reunion. Either or, we're also gonna be lookout for description stuff because I messed up on Mandela catalog. That's it. I ain't got nothing else to say. These are some fires, bro. These are some fires. Last episode was lit. Reunion. Now, like, bro, I want to know what happened to homeboy with the shotgun. How do you get bodied with a shotgun on you, bro? How does that happen to you?
Well, as I've said, that our negotiations in this area with the Soviets are just beginning. Commerce Secretary Peterson returned yesterday. 2 weeks, mostly in Moscow, but also in Warsaw, during which time very considerable progress was made. We're narrowing our differences, which have kept us from settling our Lend-Lease debt for 25 years.
Okay.
The good faith which the Soviets would demonstrate by settling the debt would set the stage for a presidential order permitting Exim Bank credits for sales to the Soviets. And it would also open the way for a presidential request of the Congress that denies.
Oh, that's a 3D render. No, you don't get to do that. And then we not analyze. What does it say? Dielectric properties of the samples were found. Did you just go on Chat GPT, or is this actually like written? Kane, if I catch you, scripts written by Chat GPT, we're gonna have some problems, Kane. All right, okay, so that was it. As per usual, we need to figure out exactly what the comments is saying instantly. Okay, I like how at the end, the identical but mirrored clouds touch, symbolizing the backrooms. A dimension where that's inverted, our mirror of our world connecting our dimension. Thanks for the early Christmas gift. Oh yeah, this was December. This was released in December. That's a good, oops. That was a good theory there. They could be something like that, where like our worlds are colliding with the backrooms. I think what happened is when they opened the portal to the backrooms, it broke time itself, explained the mirrored sky. That also explains the voices you hear everywhere. Time is so broken that it gets stuff from the past and future, like sounds and even objects that go into the backrooms. That also explains the time travel, because time just that broken. That could be something. I do agree with this comment though. Backrooms is not a mirror of our world, which I don't think it's a mirror of our world, but it could be a mirror of our world, if that makes sense. It could be turning into a mirror of our world. Quick Google search indicates that GE cassette tape advertisement was from 1968, since it is clipped out of whatever publication it had been in, and it seems to be in a binder or something similar. Along the General Electric ad leads me to believe that the date of the advertisement is less important than its simple inclusion in the video. Probably it is intended to implicate that Ivan Beck was working for GE at the time, 1972, and that the corkboard wall was an office belonging to that company. That is a good one. That is a good one.
Mark, this is Team A. Do you read us?
Hey, team, this is Mark. I read you. What is it?
We need immediate armed support in room 14C. My team and I are being held at gunpoint by a hostile. I repeat, please send immediate armed support to room 14C on your phone.
Save them for that panel. It should connect.
Hey, yo.
Who's that?
You should be immediately alarmed. Oh, yep, aftermath. Got bodied by a dude in all black with no gun, and you have the gun. That's crazy. That is actually crazy. Is that where you're going? Where are you going? Why are you running like a cartoon character? Oh, snap. Oh, no. I don't think he wants to kill anybody, though. I think he just wants to get out, because he's been trapped here for so long. If y'all remember what happened. I can't tell if this is an actual 3D model or people. It's so hard. Kane pixels is just that good. Oh, heck nah. Oh, no. He didn't. Oh, yo. Oh, snap. He said, oh, nah, we ain't about that. Okay, where is he going, though? Hey, yo. Wait.
I'd like to thank you all once again for your patience on this. It has been a stressful 15 hours for all of us here, and while he cannot currently be with us, Dr. Beck sends his apologies regarding the numerous inconveniences caused by our decision to keep you here overnight. Now, it appears that the situation has reached a point of some stability. We're still looking into a few things, but I feel that we can now properly address what occurred without running into speculation. What happened last night should not have happened. Not here, not with us.
Okay.
What occurred was a gross misunderstanding that was the result of some severe information mismanagement. Even now, I believe most of you still have an incomplete idea of what took place last night. So before I fill you in, I need to address the fact that there has been information deliberately withheld from many of you on the project.
Really?
These choices were not made lightly and were done for only the best of reasons. However,
You withheld a
I want to
lot
make
from the
abundantly
people
clear that following the events of last night, it has been proven to us that that method of conducting ourselves was not viable. So I'm coming to you now to correct the events as we understand them, in delivering the authentic order.
You talking like those cops when Takeoff died. Like, oh yeah, we gotta change this community, and then back to corrupt officials not doing anything for justice, and especially for black people.
Events as we understand them. On the morning of March 1st, a team of 4 researchers was sent into the complex to conduct their routine layout analysis. George Levy, Marvin Lee, Ronald McCarthy, and Peter Tench.
Okay.
At around 12:25 p.m., the group realized that they had lost track of Tench while traversing the previously accessed branch of hallways. As you'll recall, this prompted an immediate withdrawal of response back to standard, followed by several days of significant search efforts. However, those ultimately yielded nothing, and as far as any of us were concerned, Tench had simply vanished, leaving no physical trace. Now, for obvious reasons, that wasn't something that we could disclose to the public, so roughly 2 weeks following his disappearance, our security team was forced to put together a more acceptable cause of death that would keep attention away from this institute and provide closure to the family. So that is all close to common knowledge, I presume. Not all of you were with us at the time of the incident. However, you're certainly aware of the effects it has had on our internal procedures over the past few months. Regardless, that was where Tench's involvement in this came to an end. Or, at least, that's what we assumed. Because on May 8th, at approximately 5:30 p.m., a motion alert was sent out from the complex, which was closed off at the time. One of our senior engineers was sent down to assess the situation and discovered a male dressed in hazard gear who we were able to identify as Peter Tench. Immediately following this discovery, Tench was moved to a secure room on this floor where, over the following
This dude
days,
sounds like he's AI generated.
were able to administer a panel of tests in order to determine what had happened to Peter in the 2 months he had been gone. Those tests yielded very little useful information. By all measures, Peter appeared to be in excellent health. However, we were still provided one very useful tool in understanding how the situation unfolded from his perspective. Some of you may recall that on the day of his disappearance, Tench was his team's designated camera operator. Well, when we recovered him, he still had that camera in his possession. And in fact had documented the entire ordeal. The footage will be presented in its entirety later today. However, for the purpose of this discussion, I will only be highlighting key events.
Music kind of twerking, I like it. You'd love to hear it.
This is the hallway where Peter was last seen. They're not in view, but you can hear the others walking behind him. Now, as he approaches the branch on the right here, pay close attention to the audio.
Guys, can you hear this? Guys, can you hear this? Hey!
Now, I'd like to save the discussion for afterwards. What you just saw is what we believe to be the moment that Peter was instantaneously transported 2 months forward in time.
Oh no. Oh man, here we go, guys. I'm gonna tell you right now, man, every time anybody, any story introduces the concept of time traveling, it is very easy to screw it up. Not saying they are, not saying that the purposes of, you know, Kane, Pixel and all that are messing it up, but it's like, it can get very confusing and hard to keep up, especially if you don't do it well where it makes sense. But at this point, they're screwed either way. If time is going back and forth, y'all done.
Following that abrupt flash you just saw, Tench proceeds back out into the hallway in search of his team, but is without any indication of their presence. The next 30 or so minutes of the tape follow a fairly panicked Tench as he attempts to navigate his way back to the threshold. He does obviously find his way back. However, the threshold appears not as he knows it, but as it appeared on the date of May 8th. And this ties us back to the moment when we recovered him. So, to summarize, from his point of view, he had only been inside the complex for several hours. So to him, all of the new developments surrounding the threshold were completely foreign. Luckily, though, as I already mentioned, there were people available to manage the situation as it unfolded. And over the course of the following days, we were able to properly sit down with Peter and work with him to gain a collective understanding of what had happened. However, there was still the very significant fact that Mr. Tench was considered legally deceased as a result of the cover story, and reversing that would be no easy feat.
Yeah, that would look hella bad. Like, imagine you fake somebody's death and then the dude comes back alive. Like, nobody's gonna trust Async. I don't even know why anyone would trust any corporation, but I'm just saying. And also, I thought I was under the impression that he just randomly got teleported in the first place. So it's interesting that he's actually, you know, he was working here.
He understood this and was willing to cooperate while we looked for a way to reintegrate him without raising suspicion. Unfortunately, though, that process ended up taking quite a bit longer than we had anticipated. And all the while, Peter was sucked out here, waiting idly by. We did our best to keep him engaged, but it is hard to combat the effects of prolonged sensory deprivation on the human brain. And as a result, Peter's mental state took a toll. Not to a degree that was outright concerning at first, but around the end of week 2, we noticed that he was starting to exhibit a number of behaviors common in patients diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. Though we don't have reason to believe that Mr. Tench was afflicted with that condition. Whatever the case, while he didn't express it outright, from what we could gather, he appeared to have deluded himself into believing that he was still inside some sort of illusion created by the complex, and that we were secretly looking to do him harm. This all came to a head on the night of the 22nd, when, while Tench was finally about to be transferred to a temporary above-ground residence, he broke away from us and, using stolen credentials, forced his way back into the complex, where he was no one discovered until just last night, when he ambushed and violently attacked Team B in room 14C, leaving Dr. Bloom in critical condition.
Oh, that man is an L. You can't hold a shotgun and shoot him?
During the Tuesday days Tench spent in the complex, he let go of the idea that he could somehow escape through an alternate threshold, but still held on to the belief that all of us here were working to trap him in some way, despite our actions saying exactly the opposite.
Bro, you faked his death, thought he was dead, and then you're expecting him to just stay here and act like everything's okay. Like, literally, you're, like, nothing's, like, I would be freaking freaked out because, like, let's say I want to go back home. I can't. I have to stay here. Like, of course, I would be freaking not only schizophrenic, but, like, not trusting any of this.
Immediately after firing a single shot from the Remington 870 to Dr. Bloom's side, Tench fled the scene and headed to the Threshold outpost, where he would turn the weapon on several more of you while progressing into Standard and through the lower offices. Given the abrupt and chaotic nature of the unfolding situation, it took our security team several moments longer than it ideally should have to figure out what was happening. But thankfully, while Tench was passing through one of the empty labs next to storage, Dr. Maxwell was able to act quickly and managed
That's my
to
brother
disarm,
right there.
accidentally discharging the weapon into the ceiling in the process, though. However, Tench still managed to avoid apprehension, fleeing into the main.
Hold on.
Accidentally discharging the weapon to act, passing through one of the empty labs next to
I
storage.
didn't listen.
Dr.
What did you say?
Maxwell was able to act quickly and managed to disarm him, accidentally discharging the weapon into the ceiling in the process, though. However, Tench still managed to avoid apprehension.
How strong is him? He's literally Naruto running, right? You can't stop him?
Freight elevator to the surface. Now, this situation could have played out very badly, given the potential number of witnesses around the building at the time. But luckily for everyone involved, as far as we can tell, Tench was not noticed as he exited the property. Around 5 minutes later, our security team made it to the ground floor and began a thorough sweep in the direction of the hillside where cameras had last observed Tench. Now, there's no easy way to say this other than to just say it.
What?
I am terribly sorry to inform you all, but Mr. Tench was found deceased halfway down the hillside. The result of an extreme blow to the head. It appears that while he was running through some brush, he failed to anticipate a sudden dip in the ground and tragically fell forward into a large rock.
That sounds
Given the
fabricated.
circumstances, it was not something any of us could have anticipated or prevented.
Nah, that's what you want us
The
to believe.
tragedy of the entire situation undoubtedly remains. But Dr. Tench, regardless of how troubled he was in his final days, was a brilliant man who gave his all to this project. He would certainly not want us hindering it in his name. What we're doing here is so much bigger than any one person. It is the work of a unified effort, and we need to ensure that that is never lost sight of. That we hold on to the pre-established notion that Peter is and has been deceased. That is done, and there is nothing more to be extracted.
That's what you want us to think. That's every big corporation want us to think. Don't fall for it. He's lying, y'all. Goof. You think I'm goofy to believe that? Pick up the phone. mean, at this point, async ain't even the worst of the problems. If the Backrooms is already leaking out in the real world, nah. It's chalked for you, buddy. Alright, let's get straight into it. Y'all already know the drill. That's a W comment, by the way. Yeah, so obviously it's clear as day. Kane confirmed a lot of the theories, but he also confirmed a lot of like perspectives that people have about async. This is perfect closure to Peter. Yes, the detail about him dying from the stumble may be a cover-up. It shows that async was methodical and cautious while studying the time warp and trying to assimilate Peter, all while keeping the project running as smoothly as practical. Async isn't some exaggerated cartoon villain shadow organization that only cares about the money, power, and higher ups. Yeah, the sound design is great. I think the audio mixing was great, and like the quality, and like if this was all rendered animations blenders, I really do think Kane has like a good knack, and like how the lower quality of this type of material is like, it's bad intentionally because of the time period. So this comment's interesting. This location right here has been shown numerous times in Backrooms presentation. It's shown briefly here, and actually in original found footage as well. Remember the room with infinitely repeating hallways? See that? It seems a part of async facility itself is being mirrored into the Backrooms. I'm curious to see if the real life counterpart, perhaps that's where Ivan Beck started it all. And I'm assuming Ivan Beck is, y'all have to correct me, I'm assuming Ivan Beck is the creator of async, the main head honcho. Am I dumb? Am I stupid? Another comment says, from what it looks like, there's a short burst of images. The first one seems to be an explosion, bathing a person in green light, that like the one seen in the girl who fell through her garage floor, ended up in a bright flash of a green light. The second one appears to be what is possibly higher ups at async thinking of a way to hide up the cover-up incident with Tench. Third one appears to be the possible documentation of all things async has done in the Backrooms, with what it looks to be mountains of paper of it in it. The fourth one appears to be the same frame as the 1-2 frames later, some more blurry, whited out. Fifth one appears to be just first but with inverse colors, and the sixth one previously stated, same but third, better quality, seems to be unknown person with a backpack possibly running. Seventh, eighth, and appears to be the same image with this sixth streak showing in the might be a city, a pedestrian sidewalk. From what have been concluded by these 8 images spanning less than a second, seems that the story of Tench being found dead from tripping and bashing his head may be false, with the team not being able to find and needing a credible story to tell. Their working came up with that, and actually seems Tench escaped the city. Finding the backpack somewhere is now loose in society and the greater public. Honestly, that's more damaging to let them see. Here's the thing, I can believe that, but I feel like that's more damaging to like just still not know where he's at and be reassured. And you're gonna let someone who is like pronounced dead is now like walking around and stuff. You know what I mean? Like that would be just kind of like, I'm sussing async. Like that would still look bad if he was like, you know, smart and went to the cops or something like that. But who knows? I feel like it's a cover up, but you know, when they cover something up, they probably did something that maybe they found him and then got rid of him. I don't know. But it just feels like anyone who's working in the company, they don't want like people, they want them to genuinely consent to what they're doing. So they want them to feel comfortable. But at the same time, I don't think async is inherently bad, because the idea of like there's this other space that's absorbing people into this space is like, I think it's good to know like, okay, yeah, we now know what it is and we should investigate it further, you know what I mean? Because it could be dangerous not knowing how to fix it and like combat it. But at the same time, when you start doing shady stuff, it could get a little bit hard, right? Because you don't know what's going on. Like when you start like, I don't know, it just gets very like, they start acting shady as well. I don't know. Hold on, so let's slow it down. Y'all see that? I'm gonna have to slow it down and post editing or something. Yeah, it does look like he's trying to escape, like right there. I don't know. I feel like they would have to do something. Like, why would you let him go run out and inhabit the space that you don't know where you're at? Let's look at the 216 one. So they were saying this part right here is like an infinite like hall. And we've seen this in other videos. Is this it? So they're thinking that this is already in the Backrooms, like the async facility. That's a good theory. So what does this say? Ultimately, I don't know. It just shows that, like, as they're working on the Backrooms more, it's getting more dangerous. Like, it's not getting easy to infiltrate these rooms, and what they're doing is not going to get any more easier if there's more casualties and there's more workers getting hurt and, you know, going through situations. I can't even imagine who's going to be the next person that's going to get abducted. So I don't know, like and then it's starting to affect the real world. Like the Overflow, we can make a prediction that maybe the Backrooms reality, this time glitch is now an issue too as well. Like, and how Peter is like 2 months forward, confused on what's going on, and everyone's like up to date, and you're just like, bro, keep up with the program, bro. So like, it's starting to show that like it doesn't really matter to me. This is me. This is like, I'm looking at it like apocalypse type setting now, because once you get into that apocalypse mode, like laws of humanity and everything, it goes out the window. Like every man for himself. Like you're gonna have to figure out how to survive and get out this storm, this matrix storm, because I don't know, it's just, if the world starts glitching, time starts altering, and the Backrooms and the real world reality start to dilute into each other or mix into each other, then that's when it's like, it's kind of screwed, you know what I mean? Like, what can you do then? It don't matter how corrupt and crappy async is, it's still, bro, it still feels like it's just gonna be like, that's not the bigger picture, you know what I mean? The bigger picture is how bad, like, it's getting, how more worse it's getting, you know? So I'm actually curious to see how long this series is gonna go, because it seems like it's getting to a tipping point where maybe we might get into a situation where the reality from the Earth is now being pushed into the Backrooms. I don't know, but it's scary. But no, shout out to King Pixels. This is great. As per usual, y'all have to check out the links. It's just support the man, bro. Like, he's doing his thing. But yeah, this dude is talented, man. So yeah, y'all gotta go support him. Either or, that's it. I'm gonna be keeping you already know I'm already subscribed. I'm in this all, you know. Same thing you should do for here. You know what I'm saying? If you wanna more spicy reactions, you know, hit that little sub button up. Come on, it don't hurt. Y'all let me know your theories. What do you guys think? What is the most important thing you can take away from all of this? Like, what do you guys think? What is he saying? Because I feel like he explained a lot of the theories that we were seeing. Y'all let me know. But either or, y'all stay blessed, keep your spit strong. I want to see you.